Okay, today we're going to do the valves on the motorcycle and the air filter. Not looking forward to this, but we're going to start with the body panels. These guys here, push pin here, getting the fairing off is probably going to be the hardest part. So I'll just make little clips as I go. Okay guys, right side is off. I ended up squirting a little WD-40 on the tabs to help me. The turn signal you have to take off first. There's a little nub where you got to pull up. So right here you need to lift up on that nub. Don't push down. That's your main instinct will be to push down. Don't do that. You got to relieve the grommets in the places. I did take off a couple bolts here and here, which would be there and there on that black triangle on the other side. Do that so now you can access your fill cap, and we're going to do the air filter while we're in here. Other side's going to be same deal. There's another push pin right here. This one's going to be hard to get at, so make sure you get that. There's going to be screws. There's going to be two push pins. So there's a longer one and a shorter one, and there's one over here on this black piece here. So 6 in total push pins and a bunch of bolts. So that's where we're at. So I'm going to lube this other side. Remember, disconnect that turn signal first, and just work it slow, wiggle it, grease anything you can grease, make it go easier, because it will be stiff. So back at it. Okay guys, first side panel's off. You can see our air box over there. This thing is a son of a bitch. I'm not gonna lie, I hate fucking panels. Pardon my French. Anyway, what you're gonna have to do is take off 3 clips, 2 bolts. So you're gonna have bolt, clip here, 2 clips here. Now they're screw type clips. So if you can see on this side, you're gonna have to get a screwdriver. Here's the 2 clips. Here's the 3rd clip. This piece is a part of this piece. So don't make the mistake of thinking they're separate, because they're not. You won't take off one without the other. Bolt here, bolt here. The way I finally got it off was there's 2 grommets here on the bottom. Pull those out first, okay? Because this top, excuse me, top part has to lift up a little bit. So you need to get these out first, and then pull up and out. And take your time. If you crack it, you're gonna be in worse shape. But that's the tank right there. It's a son of a bitch, I'll tell you. It is not easy. I'm hating this job so far, but I'm gonna have to take the top part off too to get to my airbox. This sucks ass. No other way to put it. So off to the other side, and then hopefully the next video will be putting the air filter in. Okay, next part's taking the top part off. Not as hard as I thought. 2 bolts, 1, 2, and then a bolt here in the other side. This thing comes off as 1 unit, but this thing, I've already stripped the crap out of it. It is on like Donkey Kong, and I cannot get it out. So I'm gonna have to drill that guy out or try something different, but he's not coming out. So yeah, yay me. Here's the air filter after 8,500 miles. I'm surprised it's that dirty, to be honest. I thought it'd be a lot cleaner than that. That fits in here like that. It's clipped in here to here, here to here. So I just bend the tabs, it comes out. If you go through this much trouble, you might as well do something with your air filter, because it's not an easy 1, 2, 3 like a lot of bikes are. So I've got a K&N. Bloop. This one is, you can clean it and reuse it. I'm not using it for extra performance. This bike is slow as hell. It's always going to be slow. That's not why you buy a CTX. But every time I check the valves, every 8,000, I'm going to just clean this and put it back. So that's what I'm going to do now. Then we'll get to the radiator and stuff. Okay guys, now we're draining the coolant. Look up in there. There's a 10mm bolt. Can't see it, it's right behind that exhaust. Okay, and if the green stuff comes out, you know you got the right one. It's 10 mil. I needed 2 extensions on my wrench to get to it. So keep that in mind. It's a little up in there. You remove the radiator cap. There's a tiny screw. Loosen that and then just twist it off. Probably loosen this reservoir. And this goes without saying, but make sure your bike is cold, very cold, when doing this. Otherwise you will get pressure and steam that will come back in your face and you will not be happy. So cold engine anytime you touch the radiator. Here's a little screw, here's the cap, and a little screw on that. So once we finish draining, we can move that radiator out of the way so we can get at the head. Okay, next thing I want to point out, this is going to be the inspection cap. You can see it's got a nice hex head on there. You think, oh, okay, I get my ratchet on there. Well, look at how it is. Frame is right here. There's no straight shot to it. So what you're going to have to do is take a 14 wrench like this, get behind here, and loosen it this way. Then you're going to have to unclip this and move the clip out of the way and just barely slide it out. If you look in the manual, the engine's out of the frame, so it looks much easier. I don't know why they did that. It's a pain in the ass, but anyway, just making you aware. Let's get to the next part. Okay, so now we got the radiator off. So you're going to take out the lower hose, the upper hose, the vent. There's one bolt up here, there's one bolt down here, and there's a bracket that goes around. That's not the hard part. The hard part is these two here, because you have so little space to work with. This one you got to pinch from the back side, push through. This one too, you need to both disconnect and pinch. So those pinch points go through this bracket here and this bracket here. So you got to pinch from the outside, push it through, pinch, push it through. This thing here, you got to press down where my tip of my thumb is here. So press down with a screwdriver, pull down. It's not easy to do, that part, because there's so little space. So now that we got that, we can disconnect the breather, take our 3 bolts out, and hopefully it'll be easy from this point forward. I did lose my washer on my drain bolt, so my drain bolt is bare. I have to order one from Bike Bandit. It's a good thing I'm doing this in the winter because it's downtime anyway. But this so far has not been a fun job. It's not enjoyable. It sucks. I might just pay someone to do it next time if it's not like $600 or something crazy like that. Anyways, back to the job. Okay guys, now we're actually doing the valves, which is the easiest part actually. I just checked my intakes on cylinder 1, which is clutch side. No clutch if you have DCT like me, but traditionally the clutch side or left side. I'm supposed to get 0.007 in there, but I can only get the 5. 6 won't fit, so I'm tight on both. You look in here, can't see it, but there's a number 1. That's by that hash mark. That's how I know I'm on cylinder 1. So I'm going to have to loosen these nuts and adjust that screw so that I'm within spec. And I'm going to do that for the exhaust. And I'm going to turn this to a number 2. And then I'm going to do this cylinder, which is cylinder number 2. So that's the process. I don't think any more tutoring is needed. After this, you just got to put this whole mess back together. I did lose my washer to my coolant drain plug, so I have to order a new one. Pain in the ass. I'm also going to order a new bolt here. Another pain in the butt. So I won't be driving this bike for a while, but I will get the valves back together. So anyway, that's that. Hopefully you guys can do this on your own now if you want to. If you have any questions, let me know. Bye. Okay, last bit. Checked out my valves. Everything needed adjustment except for one. There was one exhaust on the furthest side, the brake side. Didn't need adjusting. Everything else did. So if you're one of those guys that likes to double your miles or so, I wouldn't recommend it. Supposedly this bike had professional maintenance done at some time, but I sometimes doubt whether they always do everything they say they do, especially when it's annoying. It's a newer bike. I think they just charge you for a really expensive oil change and claim they did all this other stuff. So at least now I know it's been done at least once. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to leave these connectors. See that white connector and the fan connector? Usually they're into a metal bracket and you got to squeeze and get them off. I don't think they're hurting anything just chilling there. I mean, they can't get into the throttle body or anything, and you know, it's out of the way, so I'm not really going to clip them in there just to make it easier next time. So anyway, time to button her up, except for that drain screw, unless I can find that washer in the pan. Anyway, that should be it.